Go.
Do it in a different room.
How's it going, guys? We're here with Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures. You might know this game, you might not. It's based off a Goofy show, and it's like a 2013 game, I believe. And yeah, Bandai Namco kind of abandoned it, but there's some sick stuff going on in this game. So, and joining me is Saucy on Flub's account.
Yeah, I'm at his house. Cool. Yeah, this game is pretty sick. We found a lot more cooler stuff recently, and I expect y'all to enjoy it. The pack is back.
Alright. 2 seconds, I'm gonna close this. We should be back. Alright. You ready? So, time just starts whenever I select this level. So 3, 2, 1, start.
Alright, I'll begin by starting off explaining some basic movements. There's not too much to talk about with movement tech. There's basically none. The basics is chomp jumping. You chomp and you jump soon after for a little bit of boost forward, and chomping into a ghost and then jumping after does the same thing, but at times it can take you further, like that right there.
Yeah, so...
Invasion, to start off, it's basically just a tutorial level. This New Game Plus, we skip all the tutorial cutscenes. Got a little combat thing here. Do enable a little pack switch. Then once you're done with the combat, you can do the switch and then we can continue.
Yeah. New Game Plus, we also have 6 arts compared to usually having 3, which just lets us do a lot more damage boosting later.
Another huge benefit is New Game is insanely boring. You have to pellet grind for an insanely long time. I don't remember how long, how much time is spent in the current record just pellet grinding, but just know it is insane.
Yeah.
And you also get to skip a bunch of the cutscenes that would come with the New Game file. Another perk, well, another huge aspect of the game in general are a few power-ups you'll see throughout the run, such as Ice Pack, Granite Ball Pack, Fire Pack, and a few others that'll be coming along the way. At the beginning here, like immediately right here, this is Ice Pack. You can turn water into frozen water, as you just saw. Then you can turn those fire guys into frozen fire guys, then you can eat them. At the end of each level will be a little token right there. Get it? And then 3, 2, 1. Godly.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I had a decent RNG. The enemies that spawn like midway through that
there's
level.
A problem with timer.
What's up?
Taco, there's a problem with timer.
What?
It's not going.
Like mine or the one on stream?
On stream.
Is that something I can fix, or is it like a stream issue?
I don't know.
Okay. I have live split going, so I can at least do that. Because we do use load remove time in this game. There's a load remover.
Yeah.
It should be like roughly 2 minutes faster.
Oh, it was a restreamer issue. It just got fixed.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so also going on to Park Panic, it's again pretty basic. What we just got past was a little forced cutscene where we had to save a family in order to move on. But with, I guess, a bunch more families from here on out, we can just let them be slimed or whatever. Then general movement, continuing chomp jumps, little chain here, which lets us get into a pretty good cycle here. Then we can get to the next pipe, or tube, whatever you feel like calling it.
Yeah.
Into next cutscene, next place.
Luckily, these tubes are only in pretty much the first world and like a bit, and when we revisit Pacopolis for like the 5th world, but
the worlds go Pacopolis, Ruins, Netherworld. Pacopolis revisit, and then Netherworld revisit. I did a little cool thing there. Little jazz hands. We like that. That's how you know the pack is back, baby.
It's true.
Honestly.
Dude, I still can't believe that I like never think about him burping at the end of every level until everyone brings it up when they watch this game for the first time.
Yeah, isn't it great, everyone? Alright, and around the end of here of Park Panic is a little combat section that it's kind of annoying at times. There's not too much to say about their little few sets of ghosts that spawn throughout the combat section, and then there's always just that one at the end that we miss every time. I've genuinely not seen a single run where this section has ended after just that last loop of 3. Game It asked Taco, how did you find this game?
How did I find this game? Pretty much, I think I just bought it on Steam before it got delisted. I think it was like 2018 I got this game. I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. And like, some of it reminds me of just like Galaxy with all the power-ups and stuff, but like, just Pac-Man and like weird. But there wasn't many people running this game. There's a bit more now, but no, so I just kind of, I didn't really like New Game because there's a lot of like, not just pellet grinding, there's also, you have to root in pellets in a ton of the levels, so you hopefully have to grind less.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, let me just play New Game Plus, where you pretty much just do a run through of like all the levels required to beat the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We did just skip over a bunch of things where it's, I guess the only thing you really need to know that we went over is that this little fire pack power up. Not much else.
Yeah.
And another thing that the game is delisted. One of the only ways to access it now is either via Steam Family with somebody else who already has the game, or via physical copy. And there's also Ghostly Adventures 2.
Yeah. Ghostly Adventures 2 is like interesting, so there's a lot more levels per world. I honestly haven't played it, but there's a bunch of stuff that I think was like planned for this game that didn't make it because this game is unfinished for being real.
And another thing you might notice, we're kind of just going past a few levels. Those are bonus levels. They're basically their own category and included in all levels runs. We're not cheating. Come on, gotta be honest. And then this hedge maze, it's not much to it. Honestly.
Yeah, hedge maze is pretty simple. It's just like some movement, and then the maze itself just is mainly movement, some chains of enemies.
Yeah. It's just movement and tubes up to this point. I have a lot of echo on. I'm not sure if I can do anything about that. That sucks. Alright. But continuing on now, this is the tube where we're getting to the hedge maze, and if you could see from I guess the layout right before he went to the tube, it's not even a maze. It is just a hedge.
Yeah, there's also like, this game is so weird because there's a ton of stuff that has random collision, like pretty much most of these trees that you're saying you can stand on top of. But then there's like other objects later on in the run you just blatantly can't stand on top of. As well as like,
you can skip that you shouldn't be able to. It varies a lot throughout the run.
Yeah.
This is just another little combat section similar to the beginning of Invasion. Not much to it, and you get to skip saving the family.
It's true. Thank God.
You get to be the worst person.
Sometimes we gotta go fast. The family can wait.
They can wait. They can wait until next run, or the run after that, or you know, another run. The only real mazy part about this is the optional button you can hit that opens up a small pathway to a little piece of currency and such.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
we don't
pretty
even need to get the families for Hundo. No,
Yeah, you don't need the families for like anything. It's mostly
they
just
mean
story.
nothing. They mean nothing for currency. We're
Yeah.
not buying. We're not paying for anything in families.
But yeah, Ruins is a really
Now,
cool world
onto
with
ruins.
Granite Pack, which is one of the most busted power-ups in the whole game.
Yeah. To start off, we're going to be doing something called an MCD, which you can ask Cryptic what that stands for. Cryptic from SA2. What we were trying to do there was get a bounce off of an invisible wall to bounce over it with what you could kind of compare to a sort of jump buffering system. But we unfortunately weren't able to do that, so we just had to take the normal route, which is those 2 buttons and then straight down. The rest from here is generally just regular movement, unless you want to go for that stupid MCB thing, like midway through. That only saves 2.
But yeah, no, the rock movement in this game is generally really fun. And it's like, for the most part, pretty consistent. There's a few, like, I don't know. There's a bunch of ways to optimize rock movement in general in this game.
This is generally, like, just the best aspect of the game. Honestly. He's gonna do another MCD here to get a bounce off of that wall. Back straight up. Hop over to the button, and now he's just gonna go over to 2 more buttons. Gonna go down. Gonna go downer. And he's gonna get the token.
I usually do not jump there at all, but I was gonna hit both the walls.
That was genuinely terrifying.
It was really funny, but oh yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
But yeah, that was pretty decent aside from the beginning. They had the marathon nerves hit, but we're good.
If you can hit 56 skip for the marathon, that's all that matters. And then we're gonna be starting off Rubber and Stone with another MCD to get over to that end with Granite Pack, which we usually aren't supposed to. Then we're gonna take another MCD to get over there with a damage boost. Then gonna utilize another damage boost here to just get over here quicker. The beginning of Rubber and Stone is just insanely optimized with MCDs.
Well,
you did not. Okay.
Yeah, I just did that.
Alright, so what we would have done there is just, you know, take the little platform up there. And then once we get back up here, we're gonna just MCD over to the cogs. Then we're gonna traverse the cogs over to the next section where we'll check out this little new power-up. And this power-up is just called Rubber Pack. You become sticky.
Yeah, you can pretty much just...
genuinely all I can say about it.
Yeah, this power pretty much just lets you wall jump, and then you also get, like, just jumping in general is different. You can do, like, triple jumps, and you get slightly more height, which is going to be useful in a second.
Gravity in general is also slightly different with it, from what I've noticed playing with it. And again, you get the little chance to wall jump. You can do what he just did and just chomp instead of doing the full wall jump, saving like the tiniest bit of time every chance you get. Then what he's going to do here is he's going to skip the last button to just chomp over to the maze.
Yeah, it also skips a cutscene because the first and last button have a cutscene. Because the first one's like, oh, you need to hit all these buttons. The last one's like, yeah, you did it, basically.
This is barely even a maze either. Like, you kind of have a few opportunities to get a few currencies. What he just tried to do here is hold himself in the air as soon as he got to the peak of his height with a chomp so that he could stay up there as the little maze was turning. And this is around the end of Rubber and Stone. He's just going to bounce up a bit more.
But yeah, no, here we are.
Go with Pac-Man.
You can actually fall off at the ending here. It's really funny, and I have done it before.
Yeah. That applies in general with some places like that, with specifically Rubber Pack. Dang it, that wasn't big enough.
Yeah. But no. Now we're on Gears of Warning.
Chat.
This is like the first and pretty much only like super out of bounds thing we do in this game, and it saves like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's genuinely just the only instance of out of bounds in this game. And it was already an instance of out of bounds that we were aware of, but we weren't sure how to utilize it for a good bit. Then I found a way to use it.
Yeah.
Which
but no,
basically, yeah,
there's like other out of bounds spots in this game, but like they're not really useful because most of them either soft lock or things don't load properly and stuff like that.
The thing with here is we skip 2 buttons and we just head straight into a loading zone to load this area, which we also kind of just skip by wall jumping all the way up. Or not.
Yeah, this area is a pain. There's like a bunch of things that shouldn't have collision here that can just push you around.
Yeah. Gears of Warning is kind of an odd one out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that can sometimes happen if you jump too early, but we're making it.
Yeah.
The cycle is so off. This cycle's like a global cycle once you
Yeah.
hit the checkpoint. Right? No, it's once you get to that lower
Once you
section
get to the
where we
loading
wall jump.
zone,
Yeah.
I believe.
But yeah, we're making it out. The rest of Ruins isn't too bad from here on out.
Come on, we can do better, Saucy.
Because
Now,
this
with
level's
Hidden
pretty
Pass, there's not too much to this, but this is going to be the first instance in the run where we kind of actually have to use Community Impact, which is just the worst power-up in the game. Honestly, you
Yeah.
aren't. In almost any other case, you'd be extremely slow with it.
Yeah,
So
the
this is
main
one
reason
case
why it's
where you're required to kind of just tank, just swing off, to get to the other side quicker, and even then, we take a damage boost immediately to get our chomp jumps back.
yeah, that's the
And
main
other thing
issue.
with Chameleon Pack is every time you want to chomp, it just pushes the tongue out, kind of like Chameleon, and you are stuck still. And for the duration of that,
Yeah.
however long the tongue's out.
You also just can't do the chain attacks at all on enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chameleon
Like,
Pack sucks. Oh,
Pretty much
really?
the only purpose of it is just to swing on the poles.
And then you can just skip this entire section with, you know, a jump.
Yeah, that was a
Double
bit closer
jump
than
and
I
jump.
wanted to be more fun.
You jumped like so early. I thought you were genuinely just gonna die.
Yeah, I thought I was dead. We made it work.
Okay, I'm gonna stop with the burping now. It's getting really funny. My apologies, chatters. Alright, Temple of Slime. This has the second worst boss in the game.
I might call this the worst, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I might have been exaggerating about this chef. Yeah, this is, up at this point, is, I think, not only the worst boss, but yeah, that's really it. That's all there is of note about the Ruins boss.
Yeah. That and then basically there's 3 phases. He's gonna like give us rocks to hit him with. That was the worst thing ever to watch, but pretty much he spawns in rocks for us to hit him with. And the first phase it's guaranteed. It's gonna be in like the front lane pretty much. And just a normal one we can hit. But after that, it's completely random whether or not he gives us one in the front, the back, and they can be on fire, and if they're on fire, you just can't hit them and have to wait.
Another thing of note about this level is this is the first showing of cannons. This level isn't much. That was kind of ballsy there. I thought you were gonna be out of it.
No, we're
Okay. Then we've tried going completely around to get to him before, but he is solidified with kill planes. You can only go slightly early off of that little pathway. And also, good start with immediately being able to get the ball.
Yeah, unfortunately we hit the middle teeth, and you kind of want to hit the side teeth first because they're just harder to hit. But we should be able to make it work.
Also, April, for clarification, it is much worse. Daggone. Okay, we're starting off not great. Alright, nice.
Yeah, and like you saw there, you can't like skip cycles with this boss. He just gains invincibility after you hit his teeth, so.
Yeah.
But,
Then you don't have to worry too much about getting hit, because you can wait until this little section of activity is over to go back at the thing, and then go back for the balls.
I'm gonna have a ball with this one.
And all of that. And this, him doing this doesn't do any damage at all. It's just an animation to, I guess, illustrate that beginning of the cycle.
dude, what?
No.
How did I get pushed? Okay. I guess we just get the show off.
Okay.
I've never had that happen in my life.
Well, yeah, that means you have to restart the boss. That's just marathon luck. You know, usual.
Yeah. Yeah, so back balls are a pain because obviously you don't want to fall off, as well as just they're just way harder to hit the teeth with in general.
Yeah, and another, I guess, downside of back balls is you have to genuinely back up almost off of the platform if you want to aim to hit them, because if you're too far forward, you will just hit them automatically, and if you have a boost preset as granted pack, you kind of...
Dude, what am I doing?
Like that.
Yeah. Dude, the worst
marathon. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
boss is a pain.
Like, and also, like, talking about small things, like with back balls, just break immediately if you think you're back enough. We love our marathons around here.
Yeah, real. But no.
There really is nothing to talk about here. If you also want to have a little chat, you know, you can chill.
I'm surprised that counted. That was really
yeah,
close.
That was actually insane.
Yeah. The hitbox for like the side teeth is a lot smaller than you think it is, so I'm pretty surprised that worked.
Yeah.
But
Not only that, it's also the issue of like trying to aim at them, because the balls themselves are relatively small. Like the angle can change massively. Please last hit.
you know what? Well,
Oh my god.
we'll get it again. We'll get it again,
Come on, come
surely.
on.
Why?
Surely.
Save me, please.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this boss can be a meltdown for sure. It's just not fun. Why?
No. What?
Okay,
Okay. No. Oh.
dude, how is this not? I hate this boss so much.
Okay, yeah. Another reminder
Okay,
that this
there
is
we
the
go.
worst boss in the game, like we've said before.
Yeah. Well, this is all good. We have a.
Yeah.
This game is pretty brutal. It's like
The bosses,
it's one of those things.
specifically this one and the boss at Castle Crashers, are really brutal if you don't play near perfectly, and with specifically Ruined boss, you just need really good RNG. Luckily, up until now, like there's been nothing really major enough to kill like some insane. We aren't at full optimization yet, but
Yeah, the RNG in this game really isn't that bad.
we're genuinely starting to close in on full optimization. With the skip, you might be seeing near the end. Because some of the more recent discoveries have been genuinely brutal difficulty. And with Ruined Maze, there's not much here. But specifically here, we kind of just skip a little thing, jumping over to that side. For some reason, this is the one case of stored momentum. Just jump over there. Then we go to this little combat area. Do the combat. Fight. The pack is dead. Oh, I forgot the lyrics, you know what I mean.
You're good. I did not watch the
I'm not
show,
gonna-
so I would not know.
Well, I literally have the wiki up with the lyrics.
No shot, dude. There's no
Yes,
way.
shot.
Oh
Yes,
my
shot.
god.
Okay. Don't worry, I'm not doing it now.
That was not that bad until the boss, but it is all good. We're out.
Yeah.
Um, but no, we're in Netherworld
Generally
now.
a good run. So. Netherworld, as you can see, it's red, fire, nethery. It's about as basic of a name. It's about as basic of a unique name as you can get. This level is structured pretty simply. Kind of just move around. There are a few small cuts you can make with like some decently easy jumps like that. Like that jump is a lot easier than it looks.
Yeah.
And then this little thing here. There's not too much to Spiky Valley.
Yeah.
Like there's the chance that if you go too fast, you can get hit by those projectiles, or if you don't redirect them well enough, you can get hit by it.
Yeah, you pretty much just move to the side, and then they shoot to like the left of you, and you're fine there.
Yeah.
That platform is like one of the only platforms, by the way, you can't chomp on or chomp jump on for no reason. It's very weird, but most, if not everything, you can.
And one of the reasons we can't just skip to that middle part immediately is because, like a small thing we were talking about earlier, like the game is generally really reinforced with really, again, the only major example that I've found is being earlier with Gears of War.
Take him down.
You know, for the most part, this level is just movement, and then in this world, there's gonna be 2 bosses. The first one is pretty much an auto-scroller, unless he decides to hate me.
Real.
And then, which is very
The other
rare,
one,
like extremely
the other
rare.
one is probably one of the only skill-based bosses. No, I think it is the only skill-based boss.
I mean, clearly I had a skill issue with Ruins, but I think the ice boss is really fun. It just has nice movement.
Oh yeah, I forget about that one.
Yeah. But
No, and I literally forgot that Ice World existed.
no, you're good. But yeah, we do get 2 extra lives here, which is nice, and they like don't waste any time at all.
But you can lose one of those lives here if you're a little cocky. For example, me. I've lost 2 runs to that. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's like so many small things that can go wrong in this run that are just like generally pretty punishing. It's like, because sometimes there's just a lack of checkpoints to where if you just like miss like a somewhat hard jump, you're just down like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But
another small thing, after killing those 3 little demon guys, he preset himself to where the token would spawn, so he could just instantly grab it. Dragon Valley is pretty easy. Dragon Valley has the first boss fight of this world. And then the next level is another boss fight. Yeah. Well, so this little thing there was really like the only interesting bit of platforming for this level.
yeah, you just skip a giant puzzle with damage boosting up to that.
And also right here, Taco will be jumping. Oh.
I wasn't wide enough, but it's fine.
Yeah. He was attempting to jump around the cutscene trigger, which would have saved around 1 or 2 seconds. But he didn't make it, so he fell down. Luckily, that cutscene trigger locks you to a certain spot once it's over.
But yeah, no, that's not really a big time loss at all. It's like a few seconds, so we're fine. But the cutscene trigger also just makes this dragon spawn and shoot fireballs and stuff at you, like during that platforming section.
Yeah.
But
it's not great. It is generally better. You will want to skip it.
Yeah.
If you want.
But no, this boss is pretty straightforward. Pretty much he just throws fireballs at you and you want to freeze them, and then whenever he sucks them back up, he takes damage.
Then you play waiting game, then he shoots fireballs again, you play waiting game.
Yeah.
Then he pulls them, then I think there's one more phase after.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It also just doesn't. It's weird because you would think it matters how many
I thought
fireballs.
you were getting yourself preset for a funny.
No, I wasn't. No, you're good.
Okay.
I was just on
Not
top
yet.
of it.
If we get funny luck, there is a little funny you can do here that doesn't save or lose time. It's literally, since this is just an auto scroll, it's just a little funny little thing. Tiny.
But yeah, no. This boss is pretty intuitive. Sometimes the reason I do 2 gears is he can just randomly decide to break these magma blocks when he sucks them up, because this game is well made.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah,
Oh.
so yeah.
Okay.
We get another
so
phase.
marathon.
Huge.
We love our marathon.
Yeah,
Everybody.
we love this boss. We didn't. Yeah. Okay. That is awesome.
I have genuinely never seen that happen ever.
Yeah, I've seen him break like one. It's very rare he breaks 2, but yeah.
And I say that with no joke at all.
Yeah.
And
That's
with that, we didn't even get the chance to do the funny. What the funny was if we stood on those, we would get thrown all the way to the side, and this cutscene takes us back to a certain area anyway, so that we can get the token. So it would have been good had we done the funny.
But yeah, no. Now we're on
Castle
to
Crasher.
funny, the chef boss. We fight Sully. He looks like Bees Ghost pretty much, but he's just a chef.
Yeah.
He's very angry at us. I don't know the lore behind why, but he's just angry at us.
Yeah. Just a long ghost chain there, incredibly satisfying to do, but almost impossible to pull off on keyboard. And like generally most of this level, like we are basically 10 seconds away from the boss. From the ship.
Okay, you know what? We're going back.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't tell if my cycle was off or not because of like all that.
It was
spawning.
off.
But yeah.
What we were intending to do there was wait for that red ghost on that platform to our left to make it to the edge, so that our chomp would lock onto it, and we could just jump simply from the vending machine up to that platform with the chomp. And now this guy just sucks.
Yeah, pretty much he's gonna just set all these pans on fire, and they're like pretty big hitboxes too.
Yeah.
Like you would think you can jump over them sometimes, but they reach pretty far up.
He has 3 phases of 3 phases, which involves eating food, and as you continue to eat food, it slows down your movement, so you rely purely on chomp jumps and chomping right after for movements. And also, it is possible to just get unlucky with the grills.
Yeah. I wish I
And
think they're random. I'm not entirely sure.
the grills are random.
Yeah.
But you also need to essentially gamble sometimes, because if you don't get it quick enough, you can just lose an entire cycle of around 4 or 5 seconds. The 2 things now he's eating maggot rolling cheese. The thing he was just eating was spicy Szechuan sauce. Our favorite, right? The joke is gross.
It's true.
That's the content of the show. It's very funny. The show this game is based off.
Yeah, that was a lot better than I thought it was gonna go. But yeah,
that was a really good.
Yeah. In the 3rd phase, it doesn't matter as much because he just does one more extra attack for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. It's usually
Yeah.
pretty hard. But no.
And then here, you kind of have to have your hopes high a bit that the camera in front of that door doesn't see you, because you can just go around it completely. Like that. It is insanely pointless that camera's there. Same for that guy on the right. Like, you can just open the door, save Spiral?
I think it's Spiral.
Yeah, its name's Spiral. I literally have the wiki up. with the song to see that.
Yeah, dude. Most of the characters in this game are like either named after like classic Pac-Man stuff, like Blinky, or just like
It's just the
shapes.
ghost names and then shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Pac-Man's circumference, as in like Sir, as in the title Sir. Spiral, and then Cylindria plus the ghost.
Yeah. This level's nice in New Game Plus,
Usually.
because it's a pain in New Game and it's a ton of puzzles that are really annoying, but since we have 6 hearts, we can pretty much just damage boost and skip the whole thing.
It is completely free in New Game Plus.
Yeah, like I even raised the wall there for fine.
Yeah. Damage boosts are kind of goated in this game whenever you get the chance to really get a good use of them. For example, like, you know, the entire damn level.
Yeah. But, you know, now we're pretty much at the end of the level. That's really funny. And
Yep.
yeah, that's pretty much
If
it.
you don't count bonus levels, I believe this is the shortest one.
No. There's a Frigid Caves, I think.
Oh yeah, Frigid Caves will be coming
Frigid
up on
Caves
that.
is like
very
40
soon.
seconds now.
Yeah, and that's all my fault. I'll explain that when we get to Frigid Caves.
Yeah.
Which we should be actually coming onto the ice realm now. Killer Frost. Killer Frost is quite simple. We found this small little bit of time save port recently with skipping a cutscene trigger, which will be coming up on really shortly. About another 10 seconds.
Yeah, this
Actually,
one
no,
is
less
like
than that.
one of the easiest ones in the whole game. You literally just you can just stay over here and you don't walk into the cutscene trigger.
Yeah, because the cutscene here would just be a zoom out showing you the little fire things that you have to throw into, and you just go around that while still being able to throw the fire. And then that's just the hard one.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the harder ones in the game, but we're good.
Yeah.
It does lose like 10 to 15. It's one of the least like less punishing ones, but it's still pretty hard.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 to 15 seconds if you miss.
Yeah, and then like you'd only lose 5 seconds if you didn't go in.
But oh, he did the other attack. He doesn't usually do that one.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to kill the green guy there because the attack he usually does, which is just scoop over in our direction, it doesn't hit us when we're in, you know, the little geyser.
Yeah, pretty much for the most part, the attacks the ghosts do don't really matter until I found the most recent skip in Roundhouse Rumble. That's pretty insane, but we'll see that.
On accident, by the way, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We end here with just a neat little combat section, and yep, that's the first level of Ice Cream.
Yeah. I will say the green ghost, he'll like either shoot that ball of slime at you, or he'll like charge at you with slime. For some reason, when he charges you with slime, if you hit him at a certain part of it, you just like kill him, but also get hit. It's very weird.
Yeah, and also to explain what just happened here at the beginning of Flurry, once you get that metal pack power up, which generally will let you, onto these metallic little things. At the beginning there, when you get it, it spawns the ghost, and he was just able to jump into the green ghost and keep his double jumps because you keep your ghost. You can jump after getting the ghost.
You know what, I think we ball out here.
We ball out here.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like going for flurry magnets?
Yeah, I might go for it.
Alright.
Pretty much we can skip most of the magnet puzzles in this game.
What he just did there was he hit a frame perfect trick. He hit a frame perfect jump that you can only hit
You know what?
whenever you're exiting balloon pack, and then he just fell off, so now we have to go back to normal thing.
Yeah.
That's not a what I'm explaining, it's not a thing generally utilized in runs, but if you just wanna flex, it always feels good to hit.
I was also, that was crazy movement that I've never done before.
Yeah, oh my god.
I was also just thinking I could possibly make it if I did the double jump, but I was like just barely short. Please!
Oh my god. Kill the green.
He usually doesn't fly over there and he just shoots, so you're fine to do this, but...
Yeah. And then here's the end of flurry of activity. We just go up here, spawns a token. And then get it, continue on through the next thing, go through the...
There's a few tokens that you don't have to like necessarily spawn to be able to grab, and it's very weird, but most of them you do in this game. Like all the boss ones you do. So there's not
You
really
can
any
use
skipping
those
calls.
tokens for mini games inside of the school, or which is the hub area, which you would only ever care about in New Game.
Yeah, because that's where
We
you
are
just
very,
grind
we are
pellets.
very happy to not need it at all in New Game Plus. This is just, it's not too much to movement here at the beginning of Icy Lake, but there is a slightly more complex route after this little section. What we're going up to is a cutscene trigger that will take us to a completely different area where we don't have any power-ups until...
Well, never mind.
Oh! There goes the route.
Yeah,
Okay. So the gimmick of this area is you have a little ice blaster that creates land for you. It does it automatically, you can't control it by any means. And so now that he took damage at the beginning...
What? Oh! Okay, well, we're gonna go back to the
this
previous
gives you a chance
checkpoint.
to do the actual route. You are able to route around that restriction so that you can go faster, because the beam itself is pretty slow when making land. And so he's just gonna let the first one here ice, jump around to that one.
At least we get to do it again.
Get 2 damage boosts off of that. Head over, get a damage boost here. Wait for the ice beam here to make the first one. Then just make this jump.
Alright.
The pies give you an extra life, and boy, they're called Packberry pies, and I'm assuming we can all agree that's an awful name. We hate it. So, and then
Yeah,
I'll
they
just
give you
make
an
another
extra life
slide.
and fill up your health, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, after this is Frigid Caves, we get to skip the whole level. Thank god.
Yeah. I could explain the entirety of Frigid Caves in advance, since the ending here is generally nothing
Yeah, unless you're me. Sad.
real. Should I just explain Frigid Caves in advance?
I mean, I think you're fine. It's mostly just you skip instead of like a cutscene trigger, you skip
Okay, so I will explain it. You skip a trigger that puts you into a slide state, which if you've seen us sliding around, which, you know, just about 30 seconds ago, there's a trigger that causes you to be put into that state. We jump around that immediately at the beginning of Frigid Caves, then we jump all the way down, avoiding a few kill planes while at it, and then going straight down to a button that causes the lava to sink, go lower, so that we can get to the last combat section basically immediately, and then fight the last enemies. And if we also get to a certain checkpoint after this point quick enough, then some of those enemies can just die. Hitting this checkpoint causes those enemies to spawn, and since they spawn, you know, in lava, they're dead. That's how death works. Well,
that wasn't too
yeah.
bad, but yeah.
That's really all you can say about that exact occurrence. Like what Taco said really, really early on about so many stupid things having collision, we now know that you can collide on top of ghosts.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that. I was just like, you know what, I'll go on top.
Nobody knew that.
Yeah, I had zero idea.
Unless PLP or Yish knew like a decade ago, but they are not active. They haven't touched this game in millennia.
But this level's mainly just moving as well until we get to the boss, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Pretty much you just get to snipe, like, the boss is gonna have, like, pillars we need to snipe to open up its, like, its weakness, and so...
The whole thing is movement-based, and the boss can feel a little bit luck-based, but not in the best. But the way that, you know, your fire power-up locks on to things, it can feel weird.
Yeah, it's not bad once you get used to it, but
No.
it's not too bad. The one scary thing is the laser is a bit scary if you get hit by it, except you go all the way back down and get your fire power up. But
yeah.
Aside
So what you need to do here is just break that ice with your fireballs. Continue doing that until you get up to the top, walking, throwing fireballs. Then you get up to this point where you gotta hit these statues with the fire to open up those little sections there. And I guess for lore reasons, Cylindria, the girl there, has been possessed by a thing, and now she's dead. I think, I don't remember. I did not care about the
I did not pay attention to this game's lore. There's like a few people who know, but it's very few.
Very few, and especially very few who would care now, if they had ever cared to learn before.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, Cylindria is alive, I guess. That's the girl. Ice Maze. This stage is pretty simple. It's a lot of balloon pack.
Yeah. Also, recently, this is like the only stage with these like particles everywhere. They just put snow on the stage.
Yeah.
And like, I don't like it. I feel like it makes the stage look 10 times worse. Since it's like 30 FPS.
It's so good. Yeah, it generally does make it worse with the 30 FPS. Like, complete dog. Or tacos for his buns. It's complete buns.
But no, this stage is pretty simple. Please? Okay. Grabbed everything but it. But no, we just pretty much fly through most of this level with Balloon Pack.
Yeah. It's really easy to skip basically everything here with Balloon Pack. Like, we're already over halfway through the level. Like, about another...
We're dead. I've never seen him be over there. I thought.
Okay, so now we've gone back a bit.
There's a checkpoint right before you fly up, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, oh,
Well, I said,
it's all the way.
Come back a bit.
You would think this run is like the worst thing in the world, but we can save it, I believe.
That's if you go for these spots.
Dude, please.
We're definitely beating Estimate, for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe we can still beat it by like, we can still get sub out. Honestly.
If I could still get sub-hour RTA, that would be crazy. I don't know about LRT.
Not RTA.
I mean,
not
yeah.
RTA.
But yeah, this level's most of the flying in this game is like pretty eh. You can optimize it some, because like you don't want to. Most of the time, you just want to use all of your flight and not cancel it with the B button because there's like a longer animation.
You can waste your life grinding for like the perfect intervals as Balloon Pack to see what gets you furthest, what's the shortest you can go to get that, to go that length. And then what Taco just did here is if you blow long enough, you can unlock yourself from those fans, because what they do is they lock you into their way to push you around to where they want you to go.
There we go.
If we hit a certain skip, we will never have to worry about those fans again.
Yeah, it is true. But no. Now we're on the return worlds where you just revisit places, but this is returning to Pacopolis.
Cutscene skip. And he just hit a pretty difficult jump with intended to skip the first cutscene, which saves around 15.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah. Like 15 or a little less than that. And at the beginning, we are required to save these 3 families to open up a tube, take us to the next section with Metal Pack. Because we forgot that the level was named Metal Mania. I would probably forget to.
Oh, you're good. But most of this level is just moving around with the metal power-up until the end, where we just skip the entire puzzle.
And it is one of the most satisfying things to pull off in this game.
Yeah. It was like one of the first major skips we had.
Before I was double digits. Oh yeah.
Before you were double digits is crazy. That actually, I think, no, it was probably when you were like barely double digits. Now that I think about it.
No, the old forum post was 7 years ago.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And that was of your easier variant. So probably even sometime before that. And another thing, it is possible to skip a cycle here, but it is genuinely just so bad that it has yet to be done in the run.
You would think it looks easy with how much time you have there, and I promise you it is probably in the hardest 3 skips on this run. I've tried looking for visual cues with pause buffering and everything.
Wanted to. If anyone's even wanted to do it in the run, which no one has. It takes you. The issue with that. Wait, no. Let's pull off magnet skip first.
Yeah, we're good. And the emblem here isn't spawned because we skipped the cutscene or the token, but it's still there. So yeah. It's just not visually spawned in because we skipped the cutscene for the spawn.
So the issue with trying to skip the cycle from earlier is that the animation flipping you over actually takes insanely long. Like it is just really stupid. Then this is where you're introduced to, or at least in the run, you actually start using Spin Pack.
Yeah, this is easily one of the better power-ups. Just get them move faster throughout the whole thing. There's the only scary part is you have to just make sure you're not hit while you're doing it, because then you lose your power-up, and it's just, but that was really close. It shouldn't be
a problem too often, because most of the time any ghosts that are in your pathway are just, you know.
Also, these are the worst programmed things I've ever seen in a video game, but they worked second try, so we're good.
It's skill-based and luck-based at the same time. As you just get better at the game, you get better at those. There's no better way to explain it.
Yeah, it's so weird because I used to never have a problem with it at all. But basically the whole concept is you're supposed to stand on one button and then it'll stay pressed for long enough to where you can just zip to the other button. But they just sometimes don't do that.
Indeed. And right here, this guy just yaps a bit, then starts oh my god, shut up, just start the fight. Basically, we have to kill 40 ghosts in about a minute. And we do it faster than a minute. Because there are a lot that spawn. We don't need luck. Shut up. I hate this guy. His name's Betrayus. That name sucks. I hate this guy. Get off. Right, Taco?
Yeah, me and my homies hate Betrayus most of the time.
Yeah. At the end of the game, you literally make him shoot himself. That's the final boss.
Is with 20 laser. That's a ton of Jesus.
Oh my god, this is actually insane cannon attack. Holy.
Yeah, that was probably one of my better ones.
That first half of Panic, that first half was insane.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have this in the better. Shut up.
Oh my god, we did it, guys! Annie burped!
Yeah, that I could never hit on Pac-Man.
It's true.
I could
But
never
yeah,
hit on the ghost. Okay,
here
here
we
it
are.
is. Here is the hardest trick in the game to hit if he does hit it. Through, we call it 56 skip. If he hits it, I will explain that.
I might have been too far back. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So he didn't hit it. What the skip is intended, you can still take a few more attempts on it.
I'm good. We're not.
Okay.
It's like
So basically,
such a gamble. I'm either gonna be there for a minute or get it like, or no, I'm either gonna be there for like 5 minutes or get it like second try.
I have an inflated opinion.
so what that skip does is basically give you enough balloon air for the entire rest of the level. You can just float straight to the end, basically.
Yeah, it's
There are no kill points stopping you from doing so, unlike almost any other level in this game. And Taco found it on accident in the world record run.
I still can't believe I found it on accident. It's ridiculously precise.
I was there on stream with him. It took us a good 10 seconds to realize what had just happened. Once you actually upload the record, y'all can check it out.
You gotta do that. But yeah, no. It's like, it's insane. It took me like at least an hour and a half probably to ever hit it again and like rediscover how it even works.
I have yet to hit it at all. And I spent a good minute. Not like a literal minute, but like a long time.
I'm feeling lightheaded.
That line is off.
Yeah. There's one where he's like, I have an inflated opinion of myself. Or something like that. It's like, dude.
Jesus. Yeah, no, that's awful. That's one loud gun. It's not nice.
Yeah. For the most part, they're like not that hard to deal with if you just like wait them out. Because they'll like, if you grab the power up as they're going to hit you, they'll just push you like 5 miles away. That's a pain.
You can do slight forms of manip on them as well.
Yeah.
You can place yourself so that they can aim a certain direction and such. You know. And that's the end of Roundhouse Rumble, which would have taken 50 seconds less had he hit that skip first try. Called it 56 skip because it's the reason he jumped an entire minute barrier in the most recent record. And this is just a easy boss fight.
Yeah, this boss isn't that bad.
The gimmick is you gotta make this dog get a bone, make a happy, and you bite it on the cheeks or whatever. Then then the little gatekeeper ghosts spawn throughout. And then the second time that you fight it, you just need to kill all the gatekeeper ghosts that spawn so that the dog stops moving, and then you can get the last hit in on the dog. It's possible for there to spawn 4 gatekeeper ghosts, but you're hoping for 3 every time.
Yeah, if you wait it out long enough, it doesn't spawn 4, but it's very weird how it works.
Yeah. It would take a really stupid amount of time to explain. It is not worth explaining.
Yeah, it's really weird.
By any means.
I also have zero
Double
idea how the
history.
thing works where you like eat the hamburger or whatever, and it like kills the ghost that spawns.
Yeah. And then Temple of Mystery, there's not much to it. There is one, actually no, there are 2 notable things you can do here. It is optional to completely skip the chameleon pack there, but Taka just decided to grab it.
Yeah, no, I was an idiot.
Few...
Something happened, so I got distracted.
Yeah. You can make a few, actually pretty easy jumps here. You just go through all that as normal pack. Then, as Granite Ball pack, You basically play as normal up until when you're actually inside of the cannon, which we'll get to now. You shoot yourself into that port. And you get to... Sometimes you can break and then go through the portal, or you can just go through it as Granite Ball Pack, which you just did now. And then you can do Balloon. It's just a little bit of quicker routing for Balloon Pack. You do have to play a decent bit safer though, because you are a bit genuinely tight on air at this point. Like
Yeah.
he had to chomp to make it over there. Now this is the boss fights of Temple of Mystery. It's genuinely, it's just RNG.
Yeah, well, like,
Yeah,
it's just weird. I don't.
hit the spring.
Yeah,
and
I just
such.
wish we understood like why the fireballs go in certain places certain times. Because there's like some times where he just shoots one immediately like that, and it can hit the spring, and other times where it's like one of his last fireballs. But no, this is the same guys we saw in World 2 as well.
Yeah, the same kinds of guys, except this guy's just cooler. Like, this isn't the big guy, he's just one of, like, if you remember Hidden Path, just one of those fellas.
Yeah. And then now we're on to Saucy's favorite level after this.
Yeah.
I'll go for a one time.
Yeah.
One time.
My favorite level after this. Okay. So, the reason why the next level coming up is my favorite level is because I found a skip that saved 40 seconds in it, and it is really easy for me, and Taco sucks at it, but I keep pressing him to do it so often. But he's gonna go for it once. It's called Double Cannon Skip or DCS,
Yeah.
which is what we've been saying multiple times throughout the run. Come on.
Okay, that clears it, Jesus.
Let's go. There's love in the background.
I think that's actually the first time I've hit in a run.
Let's fucking go, Taco.
Thank God.
Oh. I am genuinely astonished for it. There is more. There's slightly more to this skip. You have to go into that cutscene trigger a certain way to where you as Granite Ball Pack get stuck to that door.
Okay, you know what?
But
We
you
got that.
don't have to, because, you know, he just died there. And you can back up by landing on that torch, and then jumping back up. Right over the door. Which he just did.
At least-
if you were to first try that backup, that would be faster than full DCS.
Ashamed of myself.
Like with getting the ball over to that platform in front with the door and everything, that is full DCS. And unless you count 56 skip, otherwise known as prayer, to me, that is the hardest skip in the game.
Hello?
That's the hardest
Okay,
skip. DCS is the hardest skip more than anything in the game. Thank you all for understanding my pawpaw.
Yeah, no. That's actually the first time I've been in a run too. There's a backup strat you can hit sometimes, and I've failed it like a few times in runs. So,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Basically, there's another possible method to DCS involving 2 bounces rather than 1. This is the last level.
Yeah, this is
Where
Betrayus.
we make Betrayus shoot himself 4 times by, you know, a little bit of a nick. See? Get him to shoot his laser. He didn't make him shoot himself. He did a little sound effect shake noise. That sound. Yeah, if you focus in on the game sound. Yeah, you all heard that.
Oh my god, he didn't hate us.
The game time ends when Taco gets the token.
Yeah, it's just like whenever I touch it. So,
Once he touches the
It's
token,
time.
it's time.
that was definitely a ride.
Go.
I did not
Yeah.
yeah. If it wasn't for
Do
Ruins,
DCS and runs now, or I hate you.
maybe. This really wasn't that
Okay.
bad outside of Ruins. Like, if I just
Yeah.
didn't fold on Ruins boss, I would've... Yeah, but we still made the estimate, and it was still a decent run.
Okay.
But no, shout outs to the whole
Right.
community. It is a
One
bit
thing
small.
I'd like to say about getting access to the game, like we said earlier, it's delisted from Steam. You may if you do want to run this, you might. I think the only solution you have is a physical copy, or I guess doing a Steam family with me, Taco, or Crow, one of the other runners. It's kind of a sucky solution, but
Sure do.
there is a lot more potential to this game. We both
They
believe
say
in
that
it.
the tree of life is the one
If you would
source in the
like to
universe
lab
for
stuff
power
out with
berries,
us,
which
and
are the
especially
source
on
of all
console
power
versions,
for
because
the
we've never
Pac
gotten
world.
the chance to really try that out yet.
We
Like,
already knew
currently we
that.
only have one person that has the 360 version, and
I
we
didn't
want
say it
to
was
we
useful
want to test stuff
information.
out with them
Don't
on it, but
worry,
we
though.
haven't gotten the time to.
We found 3
Again, we
temples
believe in the
already.
game. If you'd
There
like to
are
work
bound
with
be
us on
more.
that, you
We
can.
just have to keep
Me and
looking.
Taco are both in the Sacer Discord. You can DM him at Taco Swass. You can DM me at Saucy, except just every letter is there but twice.
But no, I'm definitely gonna be running more to get a better record for this category because it's currently at 5550.
Okay.
There's definitely room. Yeah.
To Badass Night SR in chat, it is on 360, 3DS, PS3, and like we just said, PC, but sadly inaccessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for letting us on. Taco, you want to give any shoutouts?
Yeah, no, shoutouts to Sacer. I'm gonna be doing more runs if you want to follow me at Taco Swass. I'm gonna be going for like a lower 55 at least for this category because there's definitely room to improve. Because I have like I discovered the skip in my record and then I lost like 40 seconds afterward because I was freaking out. But
Yeah.
no, shoutouts to the whole community. We found kind of crazy amount of stuff in like the past just month or two that I would have never known about. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for me.
If you want to join the Discord to work with us, if you want to get a physical copy and stuff like that, you can find it on the SRC page. It's speedrun.com/GA for Ghostly Adventures, stuff like that.
You know, shout outs to the whole marathon.
I'm not actually sure if it's the same game because we've never seen it in action before, the 3DS version.
3DS is not the same game.
Yeah,
I know
we know
this,
about the
it's a lot.
3DS version of GA2.
But
That's
yeah.
the only one that's really. That's the only one. That's the only 3DS port we're actually aware of when it comes to this series. Yeah.
But no, that's it for me.
Actually, I'll give like a little smallish shout out. Love, thanks for letting me in your house to commentate. Yeah. Also, everyone, give another GG to Taco. This was very cool. Okay.
But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us.
Yeah, that's it for us.